Hey guys, in today's video, I thought it would be really fun if we ranked the law school videos. I thought it's a non-traditional video. I thought it would be a lot of fun for me to record, a lot of fun for you guys to watch, and I figured it would be really good information for you guys to know about your 1L courses. So in this video, we're going to be ranking the 1L courses and starting out with our first course, which is Common Law 1. So Common Law 1 is a course that is theoretically very interesting. However, the practicality of it is really not so interesting. Most common law professors suck. That's what I found, speaking to other people in other law schools. And there's usually a ton of reading, which is followed along with super old cases, and it ends up being super duper boring. I really did not like common law at all. I feel like I taught all of myself the information on the final. I'm going to give it an F. You could disagree. I think it was super boring. I really didn't like it. Next, we're going to get into civil procedure. So civil procedure is sort of on the flip end where it's not so interesting at all. It's really boring, happens to be, but it is super practical than common law. And the information that you know will teach you so much about how a litigation goes on. At the end of the day, though, civil procedure does have a ton of really boring reading. While you're going to be reading historic cases like Pennoyer and International Shoe, Asahi, it's just super duper boring, and I can't justify giving it anything higher than a D tier. I had a really good professor too, but it's just a super boring class. It's 5 credits. No one wants to be there. It's a D tier for sure. Next, we're going to go into the other 5 credit course, contracts. These two classes sometimes will be split up in schools, so keep that in mind. But back to contracts. Contracts is a super practical class like civil procedure, where almost everything that you're going to be doing as a lawyer involves contracts. I think it was super practical. I had a really interesting professor for contracts. However, at the end of the day, contracts does become a little bit boring. It is super duper straightforward and very linear, which I think a lot of people really like about it. It's definitely higher than a D and an F tier. I think I'm going to place it in a B tier for now. It's a good class. It's not the best class in law school, but it's going to give you a lot. You're going to be spending a lot of time on it. And it's boring. It's about contracts. All right, so next we're going to be talking about torts. Torts are super duper interesting. They're going to be giving you all of these interesting cases and information. You're going to be learning concepts of intentional torts, defenses, negligence, really good stuff. I really like torts. I had a fantastic professor. I think it's just the right amount of theoretical information and also practical information that's going to help you as a lawyer, just knowing all of these different lawsuits. In law school, you're going to find out that you can really sue on 2 big things, which are contracts or torts. And I really like torts. I think torts definitely deserves an A. It's a really great course. Very interesting. Definitely an A. Next, we're going to go into criminal law. Criminal law is very theoretical. It's very abstract. It's sort of like the opposite of contracts, where it doesn't really follow any progression. It's very theoretical, not so practical unless you end up going into criminal law. But the information that you know about, that you're going to learn about mens rea, intent of the crime, and also about the actus reus, which is doing the physical action of the crime, I think is really important. I think it teaches you how to think like a lawyer. I had a really great professor. A lot of people didn't like it, but I really like criminal law. I think it belongs in A tier. It's not exactly S tier because it's not so fantastic, and at the end of the day, you could restructure it in a lot of different ways that make sense. So it's not super linear as torts. So in that case, I think I'm going to give it one step below torts. I think it is a fantastic course. I really liked it. Next, we're going to be talking about legal writing. Legal writing is definitely going to be the biggest pain in the tush of all of your classes. Legal writing is just so annoying. You're going to be spending so much time on legal writing. However, though, it's going to be teaching you very, very important skills. As a lawyer, you're going to be doing almost exclusively writing and reading. So legal writing is very important. You're going to learn how to write a legal memorandum. You're going to learn how to write briefs, how to cite to cases. Legal writing, I think, is just such an important class that I think it would be a shame if I put it anything lower than, I think it belongs either in B tier or A tier. It's very practical. It's going to be teaching you all of the different things you need to know about practicing law. And it's hands-on. You're going to be spending a lot of time making these actual things. However, the downside of legal writing, which I think is why it belongs as in the bottom of A tier, is that legal writing is going to be taking up so much time in your schedule, and it's not going to be worth at all how many credits you're spending on it. You're going to be spending so much time working on your briefs, and it's not going to translate at all to how many credits it and weighs into your average. So I think it belongs in A tier. Okay, next we're going to be getting into real property. Real property, I think, is just like a really fun course that you take in law school. It's pretty theoretical, but also it balances the practical aspect of it. You're going to be learning about all different concepts, which are super important. The downside of real property is that it doesn't follow a super linear curve, such as torts and contracts. It's more similar to crim law. I'm going to give it an S tier. I think it's really the best course, and I think it's the most important course for you in law school when you start. So I think real property is really good. So this is my rankings of all of the 1L courses that you're going to be taking.